rising of the sun we remember, in the blowing of the wind we remember, in the rising of the sun, in the opening of buds we remember, in the blowing of the wind we remember, the rising of the sun, in the opening of buds we remember, in the blowing of the wind, the rising of the rising of the and sick at heart we remember, when we rejoice we yearn to share we remember, when we're lost and sick at heart we remember, so long as we live they too shall live. Lost and sick at heart we remember, they are now a part of us. They are now a part of us. They too shall live as we remember. They are now a part of us. They are now a part of us. They too shall live as we remember. They are now a part of us. They are now a part of us. They too shall live.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, and with thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, and with thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Ve'asuli mikdash ve'shachanti betocham va'anachnu nevarech ya me'ata ve'ad olam. Oh Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, and with thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Mi sheberach avoteinu mekor habracha leimotenu.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us,
Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imo
Shabbat Shalom. Welcome home. So nice to be with everyone in the sanctuary. Be you joining us through JBS or Facebook or live streaming or sitting here with us in the pews. A wave to everyone throughout the nearby and far communities that are joining us. It is December 24th, 2021, the penultimate Shabbat of this secular year. And we know we're experiencing another wave of the coronavirus here in our city and around the world. This past Tuesday, we experienced the winter solstice, which means that each day since then, there's been a little bit more daylight every single day. How much more? Well, according to my sources, today, Cantor, we had 10 more seconds of daylight.
I'll take it.
And that's what I said, Cantor. That is exact. I will take every single second. And seeing you all here and knowing we're joined by so many friends from near and far, we're strengthened. You bring us extra light on this Shabbat. And we know, of course, it's Christmas Eve, and so many of our staff who work here tonight are going to be celebrating Christmas, and to them and to our friends and neighbors, we wish you a very Merry Christmas. And I kind of feel it's ideal that tonight is Shabbat. We say it on a regular basis, and I'll say it again, that we need Shabbat more than ever. And you think we'd stop saying that, Dan, because we say it all the time, but the reason we say it is because we need Shabbat. We need to be together. We need to pray. We need to stop and think and be grateful, to be sad and to be hopeful and to be engaged. We need it all. And we're lucky, so lucky that we can be together. And tonight, I am sure we will embrace this Shabbat with our full souls and our full spirits. We're so happy to be here with all of you. I'm Maurice Salth, joined by our senior cantor, Daniel Mutlu. On our screen or soon on our screen, voila, our colleague and friend, Rabbi Sarah Berman, is joining us. And we're so lucky our exceptional musicians and our security staff and our shamashim and our event staff have helped bring us into our sanctuary again. And we'll continue to bring more Shabbat into this space with the lighting of our Shabbat candles. I'm happy to invite Arden Donahue to help light our candles this evening. You can light them, yeah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של Shabbat. We'll continue by welcoming Shabbat with psalms, singing, and we'll do that first by singing a new song, Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash. You can find the words on page 13. Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai kol haaretz. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la la la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la la la. Shiru, shiru l'Adonai, shir chadash. Shiru, shiru l'Adonai, kol haaretz. Sing a song, sing a new song to our God. Sing a song of joy and praise. Sing it out, oh, sing it long. Ya la la, la 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 la. La 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 la. Continuing with Zamru Ladonai Bechinor, page 16. Zamru Ladonai Bechinor, Bechinor Bekol Zimra, Bachatzotzrot Bekol Shofar. הריעו לפני המלך אדוני, זמרו לאדוני בכינור, בכינור בקול זמרה, בחצוצרות בקול שופר. הריעו לפני המלך אדוני, ירם מים ומלוא, תבל ויושבי בה, נהרות ימחה וכף יחד, הרים ירננו, ירם הים ומלוא, תבל ויושבי בכינור בקול זמרה, בחצוצרות בקול שופר. הריעו לפני המלך אדוני, ירם הים ומלואו, תבל ויושביה נהרות, ימחה וכף יחד, הרים ירננו, יחד הרים ירננו. We always come to L'chadodi at the end of our Psalms to welcome Shabbat. L'chadodi is that moment when we know Shabbat has arrived. We are on page 20. We'll sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9 together. On that last verse, we'll ask you to rise and turn towards the doorway here to imagine Shabbat coming in and gracing us with her presence. L'chadodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat, nekabela, l'chadodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat, nekabela. שמור בזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשימול תפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשי במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי בא אורך קומי אורי, אורי שדברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, נקבלה. בואי בשלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה אומץ סולה, תוך אמוני המסגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, נקבלה.
remain standing and turn to page 146 for Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Please be seated and join with me in the Hebrew on page 147. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhmah poteach sha'arim, uvitfuna mishane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umisader et hakochavim, b'mishmeroteam barakir kirtsono, bore yom v'layla, go le'or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or.
ומעביר יום ומעביר לילה ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה אדוני צבאות שמו אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב ערבים.
Transmit Torah. At each moment, we are addressed by the world.
In each age, we are challenged by our ancient teaching. At each moment, we stand face to face with truth.
In each age, we add our wisdom to that has come before. At each moment, the knowing heart is filled with wonder.
In each age, the children of Torah become its builders
And seek to set the world firm on a foundation of truth.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol lebavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha. Ve'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha. V'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha u'v'lechtecha b'derech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
We continue with Mi Chamocha on page 152.
Mi Chamocha Ba'elim Adonai Mi Kamocha Nedar Ba'Kodesh Norah Tehilot Oseh Feleh Norah Tehilot Oseh Feleh Michamocha Ba'elim Adonai Mikamocha Nedar Ba'Kodesh Norah Tehilot Oseh Feleh Norah Tehilot Oseh Feleh.
Our Hashkivenu is a prayer for protection, and it's also a hopeful prayer, a prayer which we say with the expectation that we will get up tomorrow and things will be better. We can find it on our order of service, a mashup of Matyahu's One Day and the traditional prayer.
Sometimes I lay under the moon and thank God I'm breathing. Then I pray, don't take me soon, 'cause I'm here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that they don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play one day, one day, one day. Oh, one day, one day, one day. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, Amidah Malkeinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, Amidah Malkeinu lechaim. One day, one day, one day, oh, one day, one day.
Page 155, our tefillah. Please rise.
Adonai Svatai Tiftach, Adonai Svatai Tiftach, ופי יגיד תהילתך ופי יגיד תהילתך אדוני שפתי תפתח אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך ופי יגיד תהילתך ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו אלוהי אברהם אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב אלוהי שרה אלוהי רבקה אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא אל עליון גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני מחיים מתים אתה רב להושיע משליף הרוח ומוריד הגשם מחכל חיים בחסד מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים סומך נופלים ורופא חולים ומתיר אסורים ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומדומה לך מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום יעלו חסלה ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Let's turn to page 258. Read together the prayer for our nation at the bottom of the page. O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another. Protect the rainy ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit. Amen. We now continue with the prayers of the Amidah, or the prayers within our own heart, or both. They continue in our prayer book through page 167. You may do so standing or seated.
We all live on our own mountain so high. We all live on our own mountain so high. From my mountain to your mountain, to my mountain so high. From my mountain to your mountain, to my mountain so high. I'm calling you. I'm calling you. I'm calling you. I'm calling you. We all live on our own mountain so high. We all live on our own mountain so high. From my mountain to your mountain, to my mountain so high. From my mountain to your mountain, to my mountain so high. I'm calling you. 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 I'm calling you.
These are indisputably tough times. The world around us is sick, and many in our community are sick as well. Whether in body, in mind, or in spirit, know that you are not alone. Wherever we are this Shabbat, in the sanctuary, at home, with friends or with family, please know that we are really all together, connected to each other in an incredible cocoon of support and comfort and strength and prayer. We think now of those most in need of these prayers at this moment. Our Central Synagogue community prays for the comfort and healing of Kathy Barron, Eileen Berger, Simcha Ben Sarah, Donald Brief, Susan Brown, Grace and Skylar Bloom, Marco Baroni, Jerry Calderon, Lou Chen, Alexander Cohen, Monica Corton, Corey Flaum, Gary Friedenberg, Jerry Friedman, Susan Friedman, Ann Gresser, Howard Hochberg, Randy Illowhite, the James family, Karen Koppel-Konitz, Melissa Kaufman, Kendall March, Erwin Merkatz, Cordelia Miras, Carrie Miller, Tara Neely, Bobby Palmer, Kurt Pliskin, Sandy Schupper, Michael Simon, Candace Smilo, and Bill Smith. We pray for them and for all of those that you name in this moment aloud, in a chat box, or in your heart. Our prayers for healing, Misha Berach, are on the order of service.
Misha Berach
אבותינו, אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, שרה, רבקה, רחל ולאה, הוא יברך וירפא את החולים. מי שברך אבותינו, אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, שרה, רבקה, רחל ולאה, הוא יברך וירפא את החולים.
Our cocoon of support extends even farther than prayers for healing. We also get to envelop each other in joy. So if I say something that is true for you tonight, I invite you to rise and maybe even cheer wherever you are. If your birthday falls in the past week or in the week to come, I invite you to rise and cheer. If you marked this week or in the week ahead an anniversary or a friendiversary or another milestone in a relationship, if you were reunited with someone that you care about, if you are back in the sanctuary, fully vaccinated and boosted, if you are happy to know that light is now increasing every day, as Rabbi Salth reminded us, if you, like me, are excited for 2022, or if you just appreciate being together for Shabbat, please join us in all rising for our prayer of gratitude, Shehechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, שהחיינו וקימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהחיינו וקימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Please be seated. I think we know that anyone in the sanctuary knows that we put together some new protocols. We're more socially distanced in the sanctuary, and appreciate having a chance to be with everyone tonight. Cantor and I are separate. We both tested negative for COVID, just as we've been doing actually throughout the pandemic, just to make sure that when we take our masks off. But as you can hear, I have a bit of a cold, so apologies to those listening to the Frog Rabbi tonight. But someone who sounds particularly awesome tonight is our cantor, Dan Mutlu. And Dan, I always love listening to you sing, but tonight I'm having an extra special joy in doing so. So thank you to you and the musicians and the choir. Last week I was rushing out of a coffee shop and a woman approached me for money. She was speaking really loudly, and I felt uneasy, and I told her that I was unable to help her, and I wished her good luck and told her I was sorry. And I soon regretted my decision not to provide her with anything. You see, years ago, I decided whenever I was able that I would provide people asking for money some support, even if it was just a little change. My decision was rooted in Jewish values that, it turns out, stem most directly from this week's Torah portion. Our Rabbi Emeritus Peter Rubenstein taught, for those who are hungry, homeless, or emotionally and mentally troubled, any of us can be the Messiah with a bit of intentional kindness, at least for a moment, on that street corner where our paths cross. It's common for the person that I'm giving money to say to me, "God bless you," to which I always respond, "God bless you." Such an exchange of resources and respect is not to be underestimated. So why did I say no to the woman last week? It was because I felt uncomfortable. I didn't feel in danger, but the way she spoke, so loud, so agitated, it triggered something in me that turned me off. And I allowed that voice and other voices that come into my head to rule. I'm in a rush. Maybe she's feeling entitled. My wallet isn't so available. What is she really going to use the money for? The Talmud teaches that Rabbi Hanila would keep his hand in his pocket already filled with coins, so that when a poor person would ask for money, the rabbi would be quickly able to give that person some coins so that they would not feel humiliated. I wish I would have followed this sage's practice last Thursday. This week, we begin reading the book of Exodus and hear the core story for the Jewish people, our enslavement in Egypt for more than 400 years and our eventual exodus into freedom. After this week, it is referred to again and again throughout the Torah and also throughout the entire Hebrew Bible. And the Mishnah teaches, in every generation, each person is obligated to see themselves as though they had personally gone out of Egypt. A quote you might be familiar with because many of us say it each year at the Passover Seder. No less than 36 times does the Torah repeat the commandment to care for the vulnerable, the orphan, the poor, the widow, and the stranger in our midst. And these mitzvot are accompanied with the reminder, you know the feelings of a stranger, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. No commandment is repeated more. The Torah is not into repetition for its own sake. Every word matters. So why is the mitzvah to remember the stranger repeated so often? This was clearly a priority for our ancestors, and it was their hope that future generations would make it central to their Jewish identity. Rabbi Jonathan Sachs teaches the Torah wants this story to become a permanent part of our collective memory. In addition, the Torah emphasizes mitzvot that are not in our nature to perform. We are preoccupied with our own lives. It's part of being a human being. We focus on ourselves and our family and our friends and our livelihood and our hobbies. It's not that we're insensitive about the stranger, it's just that we're so involved with our own personal interests that the stranger sometimes falls by the wayside. Starting with this portion, our tradition calls us to add the stranger to our priority list. Starting with this portion, we are to stand up for those who have no one to stand up for them. Starting with this portion, we are to protect people whose agency has been stripped from them. Even if they're loud, even if they make us uncomfortable. Perhaps especially if they make us uncomfortable. These principles are also to be applied to people we will never meet who are struggling because they are refugees and victims of other human-made and natural disasters. But helping those in short-term need with some money and kindness is only one part of how we are to make manifest the Torah's most repeated mitzvah. We are also called to engage in systemic change. One of my favorite singer-songwriters is John Denver of blessed memory. And he would recite this long-form poem whenever I saw him perform. It's called The Ambulance Down in the Valley. I want to share this poem. Sorry for my voice. 'Twas a dangerous cliff, as they freely confessed, though to walk near its crest was so pleasant. But over its terrible edge there had slipped a duke and too many a peasant. The people said something would have to be done, but their projects at all did not tally. Some said, put a fence round the edge of the cliff. Others, an ambulance down in the valley. The lament of the crowd was profound and was loud as their heart overflowed with pity. But the cry for the ambulance carried the day as it spread through the neighboring city. A collection was made to accumulate aid, and the dwellers in highway and alley gave dollars and cents not to furnish a fence, but an ambulance down in the valley. For the cliff is all right if you're careful, they said, and if folks ever slip and are dropping, it isn't the slipping that hurts them so much as the shock down below when they're stopping. So for years we have heard as these mishaps occurred, quickforth would the rescuers sally to pick up the victims who fell from the cliff with the ambulance down in the valley. Said one to his peers, it's a marvel to me that you'd give so much greater attention to repairing results than the curing the cause. You much better aim at prevention. For the mischief, of course, should be stopped at its source. Come, neighbors and friends, let us rally. It's far better sense to rely on a fence than an ambulance down in the valley. He is wrong in his head, the majority said. He would end all our earnest endeavors. He's a man who would shirk his responsible work, but we will support it forever. Aren't we picking up all just as fast as they fall and giving them care liberally? A superfluous fence is of no consequence if the ambulance works in the valley. The story looks queer as we've written it here, but things oft occur that are stranger, more humane, we assert, than to succor the hurt is the plan of removing the danger. The best possible course is to safeguard the source, attend to things rationally. Friends, let us build up the fence and let us dispense with the ambulance down in the valley. This poem provides the simplest of answers, a fence at the top of a cliff to solve an important communal problem. Modern-day community organizers use another metaphor of looking upstream in search of the source of society's challenges. A fence on top of a cliff, a dam upstream, whatever it takes, be it simple or complicated, we Jews are to persevere in engaging in systemic change. And when it comes to making change systemically, we are to do it in and among community. There really is no other way. Long-lasting, comprehensive change happens when people advocate on behalf of and for one another in solidarity. We here at Central Synagogue have been led in these communal efforts by Rabbi Heli Haber and are central in action congregant team who are constantly working on change initiatives that we as a synagogue have prioritized. And you can find out more on our website about our inspiring successes over the past few years and join us in our future efforts. Remember, you know the feelings of a stranger, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. It all begins in this week's portion. It's never too late to integrate this central Jewish narrative and charge into our core identities. We can help the stranger among us. We can influence the society we live in for the better. Starting this week, our tradition teaches it's up to us. Shabbat Shalom.
We'll continue now with Aleinu L'Shabeach, page 282. Please rise. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. ויתקדש שמי רבה.
In the rising of the sun and in its going down, we remember them. In the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we remember them. In the opening of the buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember them. In the blueness of the sky and in the warmth of the summer, we remember them. In the rustling of leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we remember them. In the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember them. When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember them. When we are lost and sick at heart, we remember them. When we have joys we yearn to share, we remember them. So long as we live, they too shall live, for they are now a part of us as we remember them. This week, the Central Synagogue community mourns the recent passing of Gloria Anton, Ellen Cohen, mother of Karen Bilzen, Judith Cohen, mother of Leslie Seiben and David Shalit, John Dichter, brother of Rachel Lewin, Eileen Grossman, Shirley Kent, mother of Joan, Adam Miller, father of Amanda Silberman, and Hannah Wilkenfeld, mother of Craig. In our community, we also mark the passing of those who died in service to this country and those who were slain in this country in mass shootings. We mourn them as national tragedies. There were thankfully no military deaths this week, but there were 3 victims of gun violence, and we mourn with their families. We remember those who died at this season in years past, whose yahrzeits we commemorate this Shabbat. Ruth Ackerman, R. David Edelberg, Janet Balin, Morris Bellin, Shim Benioff, Jerome Bernheim, Stephen Bigman, Kurt Blatt, Sidney M. Blauner, Jean Bleckman, Jetkun Blum, Bertha Bogan, Amy Bonoff, James Borson, Isaiah Botwinick, Morris Brenner, Ruth Cammons, Gordon Kotler, May Cowan, Gloria Diamond, Evelyn Dilloff, Barry Dubow, Bert Ehrlich, Edgar Eisner, Sheila Ember, Joseph Figatner, Janet Fisher, Leopold Friedman, Micah Friedman, Harriet Glasgow, Lass Goldberg, Eugene Goldstein, Kenneth Gordon, Edna Green, Ruth Green, Cleo Hagenson, Frances Heller, Ethel Hirsch, Edmund Kamara, Bernard Kaminsky, Faye Kerner, Gerald Kirschenberg, Sidney Klein, Milton Cogan, George Cohn Jr., William Ralph Komaroff, Fred Kriegel, Robert Kuhn, Cindy Curtin, Jean Lambert, Vicki Lessing, Louise Levin, Hyman Levowich, Max Levy, Anita Fernbach Lipschultz, Helga Laub, John Machinist, Herman March, Ruth Marks, Judith Mastro, Ruth Messer, Sidney Moss, Martin Mutterpearl, William Newman, Irving Price, Samuel Rudin, Gladys Sadock, Alexander Sage, Joseph Schaefer, Gideon Schiller, Minerva Shapiro, Aaron Seiden, Louis Siegel, Beatrice Sitomer, Sam Spratt, Herbert Spielman, Leonard Stern, Benjamin Steiner, Mary Thompson, Fanny Unrod, Margene Wagstaff, Carol Zimmerman, and Esther Zipkin. I now invite you to rise if you are marking the first week of mourning Shiva. If you are marking the first month of mourning, Shloshim. If you are observing the first year of mourning, Shana. Or tonight, remembering the anniversary of a loss, Yartzeit. As Joan Didion, who died yesterday, wrote, "Grief turns out to be a place none of us know until we reach it. For those who have reached that place and those of us who join you in community, let us all rise together for the mourner's Kaddish." Page 294. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'yalma divrach yirteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon v'yomechon, v'chayeh dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehe shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lemei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal, shemei dekudashah b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
So long as we live, they too shall live. They are now a part of us. They are now a part of us. They are now a part of us as we remember.
Shabbat Shalom once again. It has been wonderful to see some of our members back in the sanctuary this week. But for now, in order to keep everyone safe, we are only able to invite members who are fully vaccinated and boosted into the sanctuary with a prior RSVP. But we are so happy that so many of you and I join us virtually each week. As always, on Friday nights and on Saturday mornings, you can join us through our live stream, Facebook Live, YouTube channel, and JBS. I hope you will join us for our virtual Mishkan service tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. with Cantor Mutlu and me. You can join via our live stream on your favorite platform. And now we invite you to join us in the Kiddush, which can be found on page 5 in our prayer books.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav beratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh bereshit ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh zecher litziat Mitzrayim Kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. Okay, Rabbi Salth got lucky with the challah tonight. So as he raises it, let's sing together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. We will close with Adon Olam on page 321. Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra le'et nasa v'chefzo kol azai melech shemo nikra ve'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora ve'hu haya ve'hu hoved ve'hu yeh b'tifara
Shabbat Shalom.